Ladies and gentlemen, just to say a few things about the many accomplishments of our speaker tonight, Hamood Ashemaimry was born in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and is now residing in Jeddah. He has 25 years of piloting experience, 5 of which were, I believe, in the Saudi Air Force, and the other 20 years in civilian aviation, with a total flying hour count of 8,535 miles, or flying hours. From 1999 until today, he is the director of the Islamic Education Foundation in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, where he has, by the grace of Allah, assisted 127,750 persons, male and female, in entering into Islam. He has participated in many conferences in the United States of America, Europe, the Far East, Africa, and India. He was an honored guest at last November's conference in Mumbai, Peace Conference, inshallah, which was hosted in Mumbai by the IRF. His educational background is equally impressive. In 1975, he attained a bachelor's in aviation science from the King Faisal Air Academy in Riyadh, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. In 1989, he went on to get a bachelor in public administration from King Abdulaziz University, also in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. By 1998, he had completed a bachelor in Sharia from Al University in Mecca, Saudi Arabia, and he is presently preparing a master's degree in Sharia from the same university, Al in Mecca. He has a diploma in English language from San Antonio Language Institutes, and that's from Texas, San Antonio, Texas, United States of America, which is a place where I actually grew up. I wish I had known them those many years ago, inshallah. I think I would have come to Islam a lot sooner. I appreciate the time, inshallah, which I've had to spend with him. Sheikh Hamood Ashemaimry, would you please, inshallah, take the podium and tell us about conveying the message and our obligations, inshallah, in doing so.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Alhamdulillah. حمدا كثيرا طيبا مباركا كما ينبغي لوجه ربنا وعظيم سلطانه والصلاة والسلام على رسولنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن اهتدى بهداه إلى يوم الدين. My brothers and sisters, I greet you with Islamic greeting. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I pray to Allah with His beautiful names and His noble attributes as He gathered us here in this noble occasion. He gathered us, insha'Allah, in paradise with the prophets, the messenger, and the righteous, and the martyrs. Ameen. Allah is able to do that. My brothers and sisters, before I go on my lecture, I would like to express my happiness and how my joy and how happy I am as a Muslim. And you know, my brother and sister, this mic really scared a lot of people. And many people who's been with the mic for years, still scaring them. This generation, we are happy for them. Those what we're looking for in the future, they are going to serve Islam, boys and girls. My brothers and sisters, Alhamdulillah, القائل في كتابه العزيز كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر. You were the best nation for the people. Why? Because you're commanding good and you're forbidding evils. الحمد لله القائل في كتاب العزيز ولتكن منكم أمة يدعون إلى الخير ويأمرون بالمعروف وينهون عن المنكر وأولئك هم المفلحون. A nation among you must rise to call for good, to command good, and to forbid evils, and those are the successful. الحمد لله القائل ومن أحسن قولا ممن دعا إلى الله وعمل صالحا وقال إنني من المسلمين. Praise to Allah who said, who is better in speech than who's calling for good, and he have done good and also saying, I am among or one of the Muslim. والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله القائل بلغوا عني ولو آية. Peace be upon Rasulullah sallam, who said, convey in my behalf at least one ayah, one verse. والقائل عليه الصلاة والسلام ولئن يهدي الله بك رجلا واحدا خير لك من عمر النعم. If one person is guided through your efforts in your hand, it'll be better for you than owning the best camels. And nowadays, there is not too many camels with people, but they have luxury cars. If one person is guided, whether he is a Muslim, was astray, and with the help of Allah and your efforts, you guided him to the right path, it's better for you than having the best luxury car or airplanes or more than that. My brothers, conveying the message, calling people to Islam, or even calling some Muslim who went astray to the right path is obligation for each one who's saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. My lecture is not addressed to men and women, or to young people or young women, or to children alone. My lecture is addressed to every single person saying La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. I am bringing your attention, my brother and sister, to the most lovable job, the most truthful job, the most noble job ever loved by Allah. Ad-da'wah ila Allah, calling people, conveying the message. The job of the Prophet and Messenger. If we take the idea of starting Noah, you will find his name Nuh alayhi salam. His title job is a messenger, conveying the message. You take the idea of Ibrahim alayhi salam, Ibrahim ibn Azar, you will find alayhi salam, his title job is a messenger, conveying the message, calling people to the oneness of Allah. If we take Moses alayhi salam, Musa ibn Umran, look to his ID card, his name, his job is messenger, to convey the message, to take people from darkness to light and from kufr to Islam. If we take Jesus, also alayhi salam, Isa ibn Maryam, you will find his ID is a messenger, and his duty is to convey the message and to call people to Islam. And we end up with Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Also, he was a messenger and prophet, and his job is to call people to Islam and to convey the message. So my brother and sister, this is the job I'm asking every single of you, men and women, children, to remember that obligation. My brother and sister, the obligation of conveying the message is not the obligation and the responsibility of only the scholar or the speakers or the Dr. Dakir and his IRF or Ibn al-Qayyim Center or the brothers who are organizing this convention or conference. We all, my brother and sister, responsible to convey the message and call people to Islam, and also to guide some Muslim who really went astray. My brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best nation raised for mankind. You order the good, forbid evils, believe in Allah. Allah subhanahu also said, وَالْمُؤْمِنُونَ وَالْمُؤْمِنَاتِ بَعْضُهُمْ أَوْلِيَاءُ بَعْضٍ. The believing men and women are protectors of one another. They order good and forbid evil. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed some people. لعن الذين كفروا من بني إسرائيل على لسان داود وعيسى ابن مريم ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه. The disbeliever from Bani Israel were cursed by the tongues of David and Jesus, the son of Mary. That was because of their disobedience, and they did not forbid one another the sins that they were performing. Evils indeed were the acts they performed. Also, my brothers, Rasulullah said, من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if you see wrongdoing, you should change it with your hand. If you cannot with your hand, change it with your tongue. If you cannot change it with your tongue, and this is the weakest state of Iman.
Dr. Jafar Idris.
Historically authentic, no ambiguities or contradictions, friendly to science and reason, no factual errors in spite of the vast increase in knowledge through 1400 years. Islam is the only true religion.
True Religion, tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 4 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV. He faces.
I have two questions.
He listens.
My question is about the beard, about Imam Mahdi.
What other people believe in.
He answers.
So number one is the help of Allah.
He satisfies in the light of glorious Quran and authentic Hadith.
If Allah helps you, believe me, you have to get success.
Catch Dr. Zakir.
Then we have the next call, please.
To get convincing and valid answers in Dial Dr. Zakir every Thursday at 6:30 p.m. and repeat telecast at 9:30 a.m. Saudi Arabia on Peace TV. Our step,
The responsibility of teaching your children is yours.
our concern,
and help them to change their lives.
our approach,
Muslims can get seduced by the non-Muslim world.
Best gift a mother can give to the baby is the breast milk.
remedy for different issues.
And I'm your host, Uthman Barry. We'd like to welcome you to the program Raising Children.
Get ready to know the real and valid solutions to your problems in raising children. Next on Peace TV.
My brothers and sisters, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, كنتم خير أمة أخرجت للناس تأمرون بالمعروف وتنهون عن المنكر وتؤمنون بالله. You are the best nation raised for mankind. You order the good, forbid evils, believe in Allah. Allah subhanahu also said, والمؤمنون والمؤمنات بعضهم أولياء بعض. The believing men and women are protectors of one another. They order good and forbid evil. Also Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala cursed some people. لعن الذين كفروا من بني إسرائيل على لسان داود وعيسى ابن مريم ذلك بما عصوا وكانوا يعتدون كانوا لا يتناهون عن منكر فعلوه. The disbeliever from Bani Israel were cursed by the tongues of David and Jesus, the son of Mary. That was because of their disobedience, and they did not forbid one another the sins that they were performing. Evils indeed were the acts they performed. Also, my brothers, Rasulullah said, من رأى منكم منكرا فليغيره بيده فإن لم يستطع فبلسانه فإن لم يستطع فبقلبه وذلك أضعف الإيمان. Rasulullah said, if you see wrongdoing, you should change it with your hand. If you cannot with your hand, change it with your tongue. If you cannot change it with your tongue, and this is the weakest state of Iman. My brother and sister, nobody can stop you from changing wrongdoing with your tongue. Even in a Muslim country, we, the Muslim, unless the authorized, only the authorized people from the government, they are supposed to change things with their hand. You can change wrongdoing with your hand. Everything you possess, your company, your home, your office, things belong to you, you can change it with your hand. Things you don't belong to you, you're not supposed to change it with your hand, but you can use your tongue. Nobody stop you from telling good things, advising the people. If you yourself as a Muslim, you went out from your home, going to the masjid to pray, and you see one of your brothers, He's sitting, not going to Salah. Nobody said, don't tell him. You must remind him of Salah. You should remind him of death. You should remind him of grave. You should remind him of the day of judgment. This is your job. Words doesn't cost you anything. Just tell him, remind him. Don't say, this is not my responsibility. I am addressing this also to the sisters, not only to the men. We are responsible of Amr al-Ma'ruf wa Nahy al-Munkar, commanding good, forbidding evils. Rasulullah said, وَالَّذِي نَفْسِي بِيَدِهِ لَتَأْمُرُنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلَتَنْهُنَّ عَنِ الْمُنكَرِ أَوْ لَيُوشِكَنَّ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَبْعَثَ عَلَيْكُمْ عَذَابٌ مِّنْ عِنْدِهِ ثُمَّ لَتَدْعُونَهُ وَلَا يَسْتَجَابُ لَكُمْ. Listen to this hadith, brother and sister. By the one in whose hand is my soul, Rasulullah said, you must order good and eradicate evil, or Allah will inflict you with punishment from himself, and you will supplicate to him and he will not respond to your supplication. Recorded by Tirmidhi. Allah will not respond to our supplication, brothers and sisters. Allah tells us in the Quran how close He is to us and how He responds to His slaves when they call upon Him. Yet if we do not meet this condition of ordering good and eradicating evil, Allah will not respond to our supplication. This shows us how important this responsibility is. The question is, my brother and sister, what happened? What has happened to this obligation today? Where are the people? Where are the people who stand up for the sake of Allah? Where are the people who order good and work to eradicate evil? The companions of Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when they made their oath of allegiance to him and to Islam, would pledge to speak the truth wherever they are or they were, and not fear the punishment from anyone. What has happened? What has happened to this spirit of true Islam? Whenever we see an evil, we should be moved to change it. We should realize that it is something that Allah hates. This should drive us to move, drive us to act, and to remove the evils we see. The problem, my sisters and brothers, the problem with the Muslim masses today is not that they do not have any strength or ability to change anything. They have shown over and over on many difficult occasions that they do have the strength to do something. But the problem is their priorities. The problem, their priorities are in the wrong place. Their priority comes first nowadays, not the religion. If in a Muslim country, the government announced that they are going to stop subsidizing bread or rice, thousands of Muslims will march in the streets and threaten the government. And usually the government will have to back down and submit to the will of the Muslim masses. You will see Muslims demonstrating by the thousand in support of commerce and anti-Islamic rules. We have even seen Muslim women in the street demonstrating against the Islamic dress code of women. Yes, my brothers and sisters, the Muslim masses have strength. They have shown that over and over again, but they have the wrong priorities. When the law of Allah is not applied, when fisk, evil, and corruption spread out the Muslim land, when the believers are brought down into prison, when the things that Allah hates are being promoted, when the disbeliever are given the best prestige by the society, and his disbeliever are given places where they don't like. There are some Muslim, my brothers, apply and use Islam when it benefits them, when it's really beneficial for themselves. This is why you find them associating and supporting them against Muslim. They are putting this life before the hereafter. They're putting their own benefits before Islam. They're becoming hypocrites. My brothers and sisters, unfortunately, we are willing to work for Islam or apply Islam only as long as it does not threaten our jobs or hurt our chances or finishing our studies or endanger our relation with some close friends and so on. This is part of the disease that afflicting the Muslim nation today. We have the wrong priorities for many Muslims. The priority in their lives is to get good jobs, family, cars, houses, too much money in the bank, regardless it is halal or haram, even by riba. Unfortunately, this is the truth about many Muslims. We have to ask ourselves in days like today, is what we are doing for the sake of Allah? Are we doing sufficient? Can we really expect to meet Allah with Allah being pleased with us if we are not doing our job toward our religion? If we are not really commanding good, forbidding evil? If we are not really conveying the message? If we don't care about the people who don't know about the religion, about the truth? We have realized, my brother and sister, we have realized that in times like this, when munkar or evil is all around us and those working for Islam are not sufficient, we have more obligation and more responsibility to Allah and His religion. We have become like people of the boat. In the hadith of Rasulullah sallam, hadith of Rasulullah sallam, there are some people who said, don't be like the people of the boat. People got into a boat, some of them on the top of the boat and some of them in under. The people in the basement or in the lower layer of the boat, they needed water. And they were in the middle of the sea. So one of them said, let's make a hole, and instead going up, and we will get the water. And if the people on the top don't stop them, and don't really stop them by doing this, they all will be drowning. This is an example, my brother and sister, for us. If we see our brothers and sisters, they are going to get astray, and they're going to get lost or deviating from the right path, we should not just look at them and say they are responsible for themselves. It's exactly like the boat. If they get lost, eventually we will get lost. So we should not just become negative and we don't do something. We have to do something about this. My brothers and sisters, when our situation, what is our situation today? The law of Allah is not established anywhere on the earth. The non-Muslim are ruling through the Muslim land and world. When all of this, we have to ask ourselves, what is our responsibility to Allah and to His religion and the Muslim? Isn't that the case, that to take part in da'wah with our wealth and lives, isn't it obligation? Are we fulfilling the responsibility? When will we? The question is, when will we fulfill our responsibility in this matter? When will we put our priority right and put sacrificing and working for the sake of Allah first, above any worldly desires we may possess? What the Muslim world is in need of today is not Muslim who gets excited now and then and scream at the top of their voices. What we need are Muslims who are totally committed to Islam, people who put Allah and Islam before anything else in this world, people who are willing to sacrifice for Allah's sake and do not fear the harm of anyone. This is what we need. We need a real commitment to Islam. We must strive to support the Muslims throughout the world with our life and wealth. When we change and become like this, then our situation in the world will change. The law of Allah will be established, and the the true Islam will show itself, but that will not come until we make the important change, putting Allah and Islam first in our lives. And peace will be spreading out all over the world.
Spread the word, oh man. Spread the word of Islam. Oh, fortunate one, paradise must be won. Paradise must be won each day and each night, through darkness and through light. Cry it out to the world. Spread the word.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Dr. Hussein Hamid Hassan. You are watching Peace TV, the solution for humanity.
Surah Ikhlas is the touchstone of theology. Theology means the study of God. Surah Ikhlas is the litmus test for the study of God. It is the 112th chapter of the Quran, verse number 1 to 4. Kul huwa Allahu ahad. Say He is Allah, one and only. Allahu samad. Allah, the absolute, the eternal. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He begets not, nor is he begotten. Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like unto him. It's mentioned in Sahih al-Bukhari, volume 6, book of virtues of the Quran, hadith number 5013. Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Surah Ikhlas is equal to the 1/3 of the Quran. There are 4 criteria for the verification of the true God. The first is Ahad, the one and only. The second is As-Samad, the absolute, the eternal. The third is Lam Yalid wa Lam Yulad. He begets not, nor is he begotten. The fourth is Walam yakul lahu kufuwan ahad. There is nothing like unto him. Verify today.